All and welcome to our August BIA Code Pudding live stream. My name is Tiffany Hall. I'm so excited to see all of you tonight. I am an alumni of TripleTen Software Engineering Program. I'm a full stack engineer, and tonight I get to host our TripleTen August Business Intelligence Analytics Code Pudding. It's a mouthful, but it's going to be worth it. I'm so glad to see all of you who could join us and all of you who are watching back on replay later. Thank you so much. We have a really great team to show off their project with you today. So, this code pudding is like many of ours. It's fantastic in uniting all of our students that are current and just graduated from all of our programs. Tonight, we're going to be seeing the Business Intelligence Analytics students, the BIA students um, from all over the US. And if you are not sure what a code pudding is, you can go ahead and put your spoon down. There will not be dessert served. It is a competition, a friendly competition that we like to have with our students during their normal coursework. They're super short competitions as well, where our groups of students get together and they jam out a bunch of work to meet the prompt. And in this case, this one's like a little code pudding instead of a code jam because the work and the content is quite a bit more focused. It's focused, rich, decadent, like a dessert, like a pudding. So, we're going to go ahead and talk about our business intelligence analytics students in just a second. But I did want to let you know that we also have other code jams and code puddings at TripleTen, not just in our BIA program. Our data science students take on challenges like building machine learning models or dashboards. Just last week, they worked with PyTorch, which was really fun. Our software engineering students also create MVP apps, which is the minimum viable product apps or website prototypes to meet different challenges. They were instrumental in making sure that my summer vacation was not just abysmal. And then our QA engineering students, they test and break what the SE students build in the code jam before them, making sure that they get the practice they need to make sure everything works as intended. So, like I said, tonight we are going to have our business intelligence analyst students. They are going to have been tasked with creating visual essays and using provided data sets that we gave them last week. This time it was about video games and trends in the industry, which again, helping me out all the time because I know there are lots of the ones in my house that play the video games all the time. So each program, like I was explaining before, has its own flavor, but they're all working in teams. They're all learning really fast. They're all super short time frames, and they all have to practice delivering under pressure. So one of the other things that we also like to do in all of our code jams and code puddings is have a live chat. You'll notice that if you are joining us live, right below us or off to the side, depending on how big your screen is, you'll see our live chat where I would love to see where you're from, or if you have any questions, you can certainly pop them in there and I will ask the team after they present. All right, so now you might be wondering, how do we form our teams? So at TripleTen, we make sure that every code jam or code pudding is balanced in teams, which means we're not just putting all of the newbies together and all of the veterans together. We always mix our students with different levels, which as a teacher is really important to me. Some who are just starting out are paired and partnered with others who have very solid skills. That way, beginners get to learn by doing, and more experienced students get a chance to mentor and lead our noobs. It's often what happens in real workplaces. So, again, that one of the focuses that I have long been a fan of at TripleTen is that they really prepared me for the work environment, and this is no different. We also look across time zones and availability so that students are learning how to navigate kind of multiple time zones. You've heard, I'm sure, many people in this industry talking about how they have teammates that work globally. So in our code jams, because of the time frame, we like to go ahead and keep it just to the US shores, making sure to kind of minimize those time zones as we can. But you'll hear from the teams every time that time zones and working through those difficulties is one of the real challenges that they get to practice during our jams and puddings. All right. So, also something important to note is we don't just throw them into the deep end. I know that some people who are watching are students. Hello, students. It's nice to see you. And they oftentimes feel very nervous about joining a code jam or a code pudding. I myself joined when I was in just sprint 4 of software engineering, so like super little baby noob. And I know a lot of the students watching have a question of like, are you going to throw me into the deep end and just like expect me to swim? Are you sending in the sharks? What is happening? It's not like that at all. You know, every team gets support from tutors. We have a domain tutor for each code jam that is specific to that content. And then we also have a code jam manager who acts, and the whole team really wraps around all of our students to make sure that they are getting the support they need in the domain specific information and in the presenting information as well. Students are practicing essential skills and patterns. They're working on clear communication across multiple medias, cultural background differences, life differences, right? They're learning how to share responsibilities and how to delegate those responsibilities too. And then they learn to come together at the end to present their results. This is a team effort, so we want to make sure that they are getting real practice using real project dynamics. They have to divide the tasks on their own. They have to handle feedback and they have to make sure their project is finished on time and that they can present it to stakeholders. Now, in this case, the stakeholders are me and you and the other teammates that are watching. But in the real world, in a real job situation, the stakeholders could be C-level executives, they could be managers of whatever project they're working on. So it's really great opportunity for them to practice sitting in that uncomfortable space that we all know is in a presentation and learning to just give us the information and share their joy. Now, our code pudding has consisted of 2 parts. There is the working with the data part and the presentation. Last week, our participants were challenged to collaboratively create visual essays using provided data sets. And the team got to choose what their data set is. So I don't even know. It's going to be a big surprise for all of us what data set they chose. And it's one of my favorite parts. So we're going to see what they have been able to accomplish in 5 days. They're going to show their project off, and then next week, we're going to have the judges review them harshly. Kidding. They don't review them harshly. They review them on both the data piece and the presentation, and in all of the categories for the rubric that we use in each of our code jams. The judges give feedback in each of those categories because, again, this is a learning experience first and foremost. Okay, all of our results are going to be posted on the hub for September 4th if you're a student of ours. And if you're not a student of ours just yet, you'll be able to see our results in the socials and LinkedIn and probably a Skywriter, I'm sure. Maybe we can see about hiring one of those. Maybe not. So now, without all of that information, now that you know what you're expecting, let's go ahead and move on to our team. Our team tonight that is going to show off what they have been working on are the BIA champs. Now, the BIA champs have 3 team members. They are Bushra Abukarn, Rajani Mantala, and Hasib Vora. Go ahead, BIA champs.
Hello, everyone. I would start by sharing my screen first. So hello, everybody. Thank you for joining us. My name is Bushra Bukarn. I'm a team member of the BIA Champs, and I'm going to give a brief introduction of our project. So basically, this project explores video game sales data to uncover hidden trends and insights into the gaming industry evolution over time. By analyzing key aspects of the datasets, our goal is to answer critical questions about the market, highlight patterns, and that shape the industry growth. So the key area of our analysis is platform dominance shift, how like the popularity of gaming platform has changed across generation. Also genre preferences, identify which game genre perform best across time and audience. Regional insights highlight regions that drive the highest game revenue and examine the review and sales correlation, understand the relationship between critical reviews and commercial success. Platform life cycle, examining the rise and decline of gaming platform over time. And the last but not least is the genre cohort and cohort generation, analyzing which combination of genre and generational cohort generates the highest sales. So through this analysis, we aim to provide meaningful insights into the shifting landscape of video game industry, enabling a deeper understanding of consumer behavior, platform, competition, and global market drivers.
I'll take this. Hi, I'm Rajni Mankala. We start with our dataset. Our dataset explores video game trades in the video game industry. So it includes platform usage, genre distribution, regional sales, and profitability. And for this, we have used Tableau, where we did data cleaning, transformation, and visualization. So with the data set, we first converted, there were like four columns for the region. So we combined them into two using a pivoting method. And the next, we excluded null values for our analysis. And the years in our data set was from 1983 to 2012. So we split it into two so that we have a broader visual visibility. So we called from 1983 to 1996 are millennials, and the rest we have called them as Gen Z. So for the data analysis, we majorly focused on the platform dominance over time and the genre preferences. Yeah, the next will be the Hasib. The next will be taken by Hasib.
He's not be able to join us today, so I'm going to pull up his recorded video.
Hello, everyone. I'll be sharing the visualization. The first visualization that we are using is the scatter plot. And in the scatter plot, we are showcasing what's the impact of reviews are on sales. The next one we have are the line charts. And in the line charts, we are sharing the platform life cycle over the period of different years and different generations. Then we are using a couple of bar charts, and in the bar charts, we are sharing what's the platform dominance over time, and then what's the dominance on sales by different generation cohort. The next one we have are the tree maps, and in the tree maps, we are showcasing the platform preference, the genre preference across different regions. Then we have bag bubbles, and where we are showcasing sales by different genres. And last but not the least, we have side-by-side bars, where we are sharing the sales by generation cohort and genres together. So I'll be going to the first visualization, which is the scatter plot. And here, if you see, this is a no-brainer where we have more reviews, and as a result, we have more sales. And this is quite linear and directly aligned with every platform that we are sharing here. And like it's quite common that today, whenever we go online for any shopping, so the first thing that we do is we review the product. And after going through different reviews, we decide if this is worth purchasing or not. So this is the first insight that we could get from our dataset. The next we have is the platform life cycle. And in the platform life cycle, as you can see, that every platform has almost 6 to 8 years of life cycle, and it starts from, let's say, PS started in 1994, so it went all the way up, and then it started to decline. And after every 6 to 8 years, the the life cycle changes. So, and with the advancements of tech and innovation, this life cycle is squeezing. So it was 10 years in start from 1994 to 2004. But now, if you notice, let's say DS or V, the platform dominance and the life cycle is decreasing to 6 years. And maybe today, if you notice it, it might be less than that. So that's on my part. I will now transfer it to Rajani, and she will be covering her insights from the dataset. Thank you.
Yeah, hi again. Yeah, as I mentioned, we have split the datasets into two based on the years. So this slide shows from 1983 to 1986. If you see from 1983 till 1988, NES from Nintendo, that has a major, it was ruling the market. And in 1988, Nintendo introduced Game Boy GB. So in 1 year, the sales grew to 60 million, if you see it in 1989. And in 1990, Nintendo introduced a new platform, SNES. Game Boy was like more compatible and all. SNES was a smarter, like 16-bit device, while NES and Game Boy was a 8-bit devices. So if you see in 1990, sorry, along with SNES, there is again, NES had a market share. So when we analyzed, like did some research, we found that NES, like Nintendo had introduced a game called Super Mario Bravo 3. Okay, so because of that, the sales have regained. It gained its sales again in 1990. And then SNES was in market till 1995, where in 1995, like Sony introduced PlayStation, and which its market share increased more than 50 million in 1996. Can you go to the next slide, Krishna? Okay, and so in the PlayStation was in market, and in 2000, Sony introduced PlayStation 2, where along with Microsoft introduced Xbox. So PlayStation was in the market until 2005. And again, in 2005, we see DS also has been introduced, but there was not significance in the market share. So in 2006, Sony introduced X360 and Nintendo introduced Wii. So Wii was ruling the market, and suddenly in 2008, X360 market share has increased. This is because they have introduced a Kinect, what do you call it? There was a Kinect motion sensor wherein you can use hands. So that it became popular in 2010. So it was ruling the market that time. And later they were in market, wherein again with Sony introduced PlayStation 3. So, but the sales have reduced significantly in 2012. If you see overall, 2008 had the maximum overall sales around 400 million. So the recommendations we have here is like focus on emerging platform during peak sales cycle. What we mean to say here is whenever there is a new console launch, the users are in spending spirit. So we can introduce new games that way so that we can have more market and more sales. Then phase out support for platforms with declining market. This is declining market share. During transition years, diversify releases across platforms. Okay, by this, we mean like when you're introducing a new platform, if the old platform has the users, like we can release the versions for the older platform, games for the older platform as well as the newer platform. Yeah, we show the next one. And here we have analyzed genre preference patterns. So North America mainly prefers sports and shooter. Europe prefers sports and action. Japan prefers role playing and platform. And the rest of the world prefers sports and action. So the recommendations here is like tailor the offerings by region so that like you are in the market, and invest in hybrid genres like combine sports and shooter or sports and action so that you can go on a wider reach, wider audience. Increase marketing spends where you have more revenue. For example, North America has a major revenue share, so increase marketing spend there. And Japan is not much into, so we can do some localized content so that we can capture Japan market and other niche markets. Yeah.
So here I'd like to see the sales by genre and gen cohorts. So as we can see from this chart, the bubble chart, that sports and action generates the highest sales across all genres, while strategy, which is the smallest circle, contribute the least. And from the second chart, we can see that Gen Z accounts for the overwhelming majority of global sales compared to the millennial. My recommendation is focusing on marketing and development investment on sport and action, while exploring a niche opportunity in underperforming genre like strategy. And my second recommendation, since Gen Z generates the overwhelming majority of global sales, it should like prioritize Gen Z as the primary customer base, but implement retention strategy for millennia to expand overall market share balance. So for the second chart it shows like sales by genre and cohort generation combined. So as we can see that Gen Z strongly drives sales across all genres, with sports and action and shooter leading, while millennia show minimal contribution except for platform. So my recommendation is tailor game release and promotional campaign toward Gen Z preferences, while creating a targeted strategy to re-engage millennia, especially in genre like platform. So that's what was our presentation. Hope you enjoy it. Thank you so much.
All right. The best question I have now is for the next code jam, I think I want to pitch to the software engineer team that they need to create a video game that's going to make my Gen Z children want to clean their rooms. That feels like a real winner. Write that down, Dennis. So let's talk. You guys had a lot of really great data points, and I loved especially the slides where you guys put together the like, here's what you're going to see, but all of that explanation before you actually showed it to us, right? Where Hasib was like, here's all the different visuals you're going to see. And then you guys walked through all of the visuals. It was really helpful because I think there's so much data that you're trying to take in when you're first looking. It can be a lot, it can be kind of overwhelming. So, really great move there. First question is, how did it go?
It went smooth actually. We were coordinating well. Yeah, we were doing a co-working sessions. We were doing a meetings one morning, one in the evening. So how the progress and all we split the things like as we presented, we split that. Okay, we'll be doing this, and the combination, like the combining it together, we did together. So,
Fantastic. And Bushra, was this your first code jam with us?
No, actually the second one.
All right. How was it? How was your first versus second time?
And the first was like a little bit harder, I would say, compared to this one, because there was no experience in the first one. But here, like I understand how the process it goes. Like first we have to work on the data, then we have to prepare for the presentation as well. So yeah, it was like a little bit easier than the first one.
Fantastic. And then how was working together, both of you, how was working with all three of you, across time zones, different life pulls, still having the regular coursework going? It's a lot to manage.
Actually, the collaboration was the best part of this project because like
Oh,
everybody know what he's going to do and everyone is helpful. So
mm,
like there's no one who's like trying to like be dependent on the other. Everyone is like willing to put their effort on this
Yeah,
project.
we were like proactive. We'll do this. Yeah, everyone was in the same line. So yeah, so
that's
we did
good.
not see any hiccups. So we were all like everyone was at the same level when it's okay. We'll do it. Yeah, I'll take this. Okay, you take this. I'll take this. So we were ready for everything.
Fantastic. So it sounds like delegation was a really easy task. That is something that a lot of teams, always really worry about is how to split it up. What would you say in your presentation or in your project part, working with the data was something that pushed you guys both out of your comfort zone?
Okay. So the first meeting when we had, okay, so we just made it while we were talking, Hasib was making notes and okay, what all to be done. First we analyzed each data set, then we picked this. So then after that, like we started working and I was like, oh, I'm lost. Then Hasib at the same, oh, I'm also lost. Okay, then we like we saw some other presentations, so how what they have done, and then yeah, so this data is not making sense. That was the first thing. Then like when we got a thought, okay, we can split this into two cohort kind of thing. It can be better, and then it became like I remember the first day I was like, oh, I thought it was easy, but it is not. Then it was flowing. So, yeah.
All right. Busher, how about you? What pushed you out of your comfort zone?
Yeah, in the beginning it was like hard to deal like which question are we gonna able to
Yeah.
generate from this data as
Oh,
well.
yeah.
How yeah, like it's in the beginning it was really complicated and but we started by like we conduct like initial analysis. So that's helped us to think about the question that we can bring from this data. Also, the one of the part like I didn't like is like the null values. There's some,
Yeah.
especially in the year section. So we wanted to know about the Gen X, but we were not able because the the time was like from 1983 to
The
2012.
cutoff there, huh?
Yeah, whatever. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's a really good point that you just brought up, though, and maybe for our viewers at home to know is that the way that these specific code puddings work is that we give our students, like 5 data sets, and we say, pick one that you like.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
they have to go away as a team, look at the data, go through, clean the data, see, and then create questions from the data that they see that they can try to solve to present that as information here in the presentation. We don't give them the questions. So it is quite literally like from the beginning to the end, it is all a team effort there. Yeah, for sure. So if you guys had maybe one more day, what would be something you'd like to investigate further in your data?
Maybe some more visuals. We could have tried some more analysis. So yeah, we thought like yeah, we'll limit for now so that we don't put our hands everywhere. So we'll concentrate on the like two analysis, like two sets of analysis per person, so that like whatever we do fully.
Oh, I like that. So that way you're not like going super deep on one question and leaving the others with really shallow knowledge
Yeah, yeah,
pieces. That was a really great strategy for attacking those different questions. Yeah, I like that a lot. All right, ladies. Do you have any advice for anybody watching that is thinking about joining a code pudding but might be nervous?
My advice would
It's
be try to prepare start by conduct like initial analysis. Even if you didn't clean the data yet, start by like try to figure out what things you would like to present. This would make it easier for you to like structure your framework and generate your questions. Actually.
I like it. Okay, Rajani?
yeah, the same thing. Yeah, like I thought of going into July code putting, but I was nervous. Now I see like, okay, you get in, it'll flow. I mean,
You
it's not
do.
that. It is. I don't say it is not tough, but yeah, once you're in, it'll flow with it. So you'll be involved and it'll be done. So don't be nervous.
Don't be nervous. That's what I always say. Take the leap. Jump right
Yeah,
in.
yeah.
That's always that's always the thing when people ask me about code jams or code puddings or any of the competitions we do I always tell all of the students to just jump in with both feet because you're not going to fail because you're going to be learning new things. And, when it comes to these games, the points are made up and nobody really loses because everybody is just one big team, but you also build so many connections, right?
Yes.
So now you guys have all these connections through your team. So when you hit something in a sprint that you're not sure about, it starts to develop that network that you have. So I think it's worthwhile too.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that is going to wrap us up for the evening. I want to say a big thank you to the BIA champs for putting on such an amazing presentation and really explaining to us so clearly about what the visualizations are that we're going to be seeing. So that way I'm not just looking at them going, look at all the pretty pictures. All right, so our BIA Champs team consists of Bushra Abukharn, Rajani Mankala, and Hasib Vora. Thank you guys so very much
Okay.
for joining. Thank you to all of you for watching at home, and thank you for watching on replay later. If you have any questions that we weren't able to answer today, please feel free to put them in the chat or the comment section, and we'll get back to you. If you have any questions about code jams or code puddings and you are a student of ours, you can reach out to our code jams manager, Dennis, and he will find you on the hub and he will be able to get you any information. If you're not a student of ours just yet, you should get on the ball with that. What are you waiting for? Because now is a great time to join. We're learning all kinds of different things, and every week is a new code jam or code pudding for you to get the real life skills you need. Thank you again to all of the team that helps put these presentations on every week. And that would be Arena, Omar, Liana, Natasha, Olivia, Dennis, Anastasia, and my cat Sharkbait. I almost forgot him. All right, so again, thank you. My name is Tiffany Hall. You can find me at Tiffany Codes on Instagram and online at tiffanycodes.com. And you could probably find my cat Sharkbait sitting on top of the refrigerator waiting for me to open the door. Why? I don't know. It's all like, what's he going to eat in there? But he's there. All right, thank you all so much. Have a great evening.